What's up, guys? Welcome to Touchdown Talk, where everything and anything football goes. I'm your host, Jason, and we are all the way back with Season 3. As you can see by the title, it is Season 3, Episode 1, and we are kicking it off with the NFL playoffs. Now, as you can see behind me, I have the AFC playoffs and the NFC playoffs, both the 1 seeds, Chiefs and Eagles, up there. But let's get it started with our first game on Saturday between the Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. Let's get it started with our first game. The Seattle Seahawks taking on the San Francisco 49ers in an epic divisional battle. The Seahawks traveling to Santa Clara to take on the Niners. These two teams hate each other. These two fan bases hate each other. And these two teams are going to come out firing. This is a Seahawks team led by Geno Smith. No one believed in them. No one thought they would be in the playoffs. But here they are, the 7 seed coming out of the NFC, taking on the 2 seed 49ers, a team that they hate, a team that they have had success with in the playoffs previous times. We all remember that Richard Sherman play against Michael Crabtree in the end zone where he tipped up the ball and the Seahawks win. But this team is different. This is a team that no one wanted to be here. No one expected this team to win any games this season. There were predictions 0-17 for the Seahawks, but they are in. And who are they facing? Not the Jimmy Garoppolo Niners, not the Trey Lance Niners, but the Brock Purdy Niners. Mr. Irrelevant himself leading the San Francisco 49ers. And they are on a hot streak, winning 10 straight games. This Niner team seems special. But we've seen a Niner team like this in the past. We've seen the Niners getting hyped up. But this team feels different. Will the Seahawks pull off the upset? Or will the 2 seed Niners advance and win this game? That is up to decide. Let me know who you got in the comments below. So with that being said, let's talk about this Niners-Seahawks game. Now, the 49ers won 21-13 back in Week 15 against the Seahawks team. They won 27-7 in Week 2 against this Seahawks team. But this 49ers team, like I said, it is not Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. It is not Trey Lance at quarterback, but it is Brock Purdy. And this is a guy who was the last pick in the draft, who was their 3rd string quarterback on the roster. And we all know the Niners have a history of their quarterbacks getting hurt. So was it surprising to see Brock Purdy this season? A little bit, but with the injuries to Trey Lance and Garoppolo, I didn't think it was that far off. Now, I've said this for years when I've talked to my friends, when I've talked to other people about the 49ers. I never said that it was a quarterback-led team. I always said that any quarterback can take this team to the playoffs. I said this for years now because of that defense. I have watched this 49ers team for years. I've watched this defense for years. And this 49ers defense is just something special. Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Fred Warner. 3 guys who might be one of the best at their position. Fred Warner, I believe, is the best linebacker in the position. Nick Bosa, I believe, is probably one of the best edge rushers outside guys under, I would only say, TJ Watt. I would put Nick Bosa right up there with Myles Garrett. Aaron Donald is a nose tackle. He's kind of the DT. He's a different position. But if you want to put him at the same position outside, which he doesn't play, he would obviously be up there. But what I say is Nick Bosa is a top 3 defensive end. Now, I know TJ Watt is technically an outside linebacker, but he is a rusher. So I say he is right up there, tied for number 2 with Myles Garrett, under only TJ Watt. Now, this 49ers team, since the start of December, Brock Purdy has had 2+ touchdowns in 6 straight games. Mr. Irrelevant, the 262nd pick in the NFL draft. Now, this Niners team, this offense, they traded for Christian McCaffrey this season. They have Deebo Samuel, who just come back from injury. Brandon Ayuk has been playing really well as of late. George Kittle just is coming off of a 2-touchdown game. This team, this offense is firing on all cylinders right now. They are 10 straight winners, as I mentioned. This team has won 10 straight games. And when you look at the Seattle Seahawks and Geno Smith has had at least 20+ completions in 14 games this season. That means only 3 games he has had less than 20 completions, and not by a lot. Geno Smith has risen the Seahawks team. This is a Seahawks team that I predicted to have a very bad season. This is a Seahawks team that people predicted to go 0-17. I believe my prediction was 1 or 2 wins for the Seahawks this season. No one expected this Seahawks team to be as good as they have been. And I guess they've been a little shaky as of late, but with a team that lost Russell Wilson, a team that we all thought were in a rebuild phase, Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are still there. Kenneth Walker, who I loved coming out of college, I thought he was going to be a top running back, and he has proved to be. So I like Kenneth Walker in the backfield, and the way Geno Smith has played, he hasn't played at an elite level, but he's played at a good to great level this season in order to get the job done when needed. I believe he will be the comeback player of the year. I think he has earned that. I would put Saquon Barkley in that same conversation, but no one thought Seattle would be good, but no one thought the Giants would be good. So that is a toss-up. You can argue whether you want Geno Smith or Saquon Barkley in that conversation, but let's focus on this game. We've seen this before. We've seen these Niners beat these Seahawks over and over and over again. The key in this game is going to be that Seahawks offense. Now, I could sit here and talk about the Niners defense. I could sit here and talk about the Niners offense for hours because of how good they are. But I think it's going to come down to Geno Smith and the Seahawks offense. Now, Kenneth Walker has 3 straight games with 100-plus yards. That is going to be key in this game. This Niners team and this Niners defense, as I mentioned, is one of the best. And Kenneth Walker is going to need to get the ball going. They're going to need to get the run game going. I don't know how effective it's going to be, but it's going to need to be at least a little effective in order for the Seahawks team to win. The Seahawks team can't go into this game having to lean on Geno Smith because it's not going to work. When you have a guy like Kenneth Walker, you're going to need to get him going. DK Metcalf, he hasn't scored since week 14. You need to get him the ball. He's a big target. Give him a jump ball in the end zone. Give him a target. Let him do something. And I guarantee if you throw the ball up to DK Metcalf for a few times, he's gonna come down with 1. Now I'm not saying throw the ball at him 4 times in a row and miss all 4 and the Niners get the ball. But when you get down to the red zone, get Kenneth Walker going. Let Kenneth Walker pound the rock. First play of the game, when you get the ball, run the ball. Let's set the run game going. Let's see what we can get out of this run game. If it's not working, go to the pass game. You can always throw the ball to Lockett, Metcalf, Noah Fant all game long. But Kenneth Walker, work him into the game. I know it's going to be tough, but that's what Seattle needs to do. Now, as for the 49ers, do what you have been doing. Christian McCaffrey has had at least a touchdown in 6 straight games. He also has had 100 yards in 4 out of his last 6 games. That trade for Christian McCaffrey really just pushed this Niners team over the edge. They've dealt with running back injuries. They've dealt with injuries all over the place. Christian McCaffrey, a guy that's been injured every year, hasn't dealt with that with the 49ers. Elijah Mitchell, coming back last week, had 2 touchdowns. This is a team that is getting healthy at the right time. Debo came back. Elijah Mitchell came back. The Niners are hot right now. George Kittle had 2 touchdowns in 3 of his last 4 games. That's insane. George Kittle is coming into his own late in the season. At the beginning of the year, the Niners used him a lot for blocking, but now he's coming into it. So Seattle, establish your defensive line, get your front 7 to hold Christian McCaffrey. Force Brock Purdy to throw the ball. If Brock Purdy is going to be forced to throw the ball, this is a Seahawks team that might be able to take advantage. Remember, this is mystery relevant. This is a rookie in the playoffs. Now, if this game was in Seattle, I'd be a little more concerned with the 12s and Brock Purdy. But it's not. It's in Santa Clara. They're home. Their fans are going to be loud in Santa Clara at Levi Stadium. The Seahawks are going to feel the fans. So if you're Seattle, you need to make Brock Purdy throw the ball. Try to eliminate Christian McCaffrey. Now that's what Seattle needs to do. For the Niners, just do what you've done all year. Don't change anything. Get the ball to McCaffrey. Let Brock Purdy throw the short passes. Let him hit George Kittle in the seam up the middle. Do what you do best. And defense, what else do you need to do? Just continue to do what you've done. You have showed that you are one of, if not the best and most consistent and most complete team in the league. I would put them right up there with the Philadelphia Eagles, who are the 1 seed in the NFC. But those are the two, in my opinion, two of the best teams. I would put the Chiefs and Bills up there, but those are the 4 best teams in the league, without a doubt. I think the Niners might be the most complete team in the league. More complete than the Chiefs. The Chiefs' defense scares me a little. So the Niners continue what you've been doing. And for Seattle, eliminate Christian McCaffrey and get the offense going early. If you're Seattle, you can't have a 3-and-out and let the Niners get the ball. And if you're the Niners, go out there and start quick, start fast. That's what both teams need to do. It's going to be a little more challenging for Seattle, but it is possible that they win, especially since it is very hard to beat the same team 3 times in a season. Now for this game, I will be revealing all my picks for all of these games later in the week. But for now, that's the that's the preview for this Niners-Seahawks game. Now let's transition into our next game, Saturday night, 8:30 Eastern Time, between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Saturday night, prime time football at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Duval County is hosting a playoff game between 2 quarterbacks who have never been in the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, the Chargers, and the Jaguars. The Jaguars haven't hosted a playoff game since 2017, where Blake Bortles was leading that team on a run. And if not for a late penalty, they would have been going to the Super Bowl. This Chargers team, all the hate that Justin Herbert's got. Where are all the haters now? Justin Herbert is in the playoffs. You cannot say that Herbert never made the playoffs, because he is in. That narrative is over. That narrative is dead. Justin Herbert is in the playoffs. He has led those Los Angeles Chargers through the pain, through the injuries, through all the pain that the Chargers fans have felt. This is your time, and Justin Herbert is your guy. But for those Jaguars, they are waiting. They are hot, and they have a Super Bowl winning head coach in Doug Peterson, who did it with the Eagles in 2017, and he's looking to do it now with the Jaguars in 2022. One man stands in Doug Peterson and the Jaguars' way, and that is Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is in the playoffs. The narrative is over. And with all the injuries that this team has faced, he has made the playoffs. He has come through and fought all season long. And the Chargers, after not getting in last year, with Brandon Staley, who has tried to go for it on every 4th down he can, he has made it. The Chargers are in. And on Saturday night, the Chargers head to Duval to take on the Jaguars. And this game is going to be electrifying in Duval County. Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, who do you got? Alright, Justin Herbert haters, where are you? Not here. The narrative is over. Herbert is in the playoffs. I just mentioned that, and I am so excited that Herbert is in the playoffs. I have been a Justin Herbert apologist. I have spoken so many good things, so many times, on how Justin Herbert is a great quarterback. And he's not a social media quarterback. He's not a quarterback who just shows up, makes the throws, and then leaves and can't win. He won. He is in the playoffs. And you could say that the team around him is good, but you cannot say that this season. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams have been hurt for majority of the year. They haven't been on the same field together for that long. Austin Eckler has been the most consistent guy. But when you're going to win games without your number 1 wide receiver, without your number 2 wide receiver, that's what stands in Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert wins games that no one thinks he can. He wins games with guys like Josh Palmer, with guys like DeAndre Carter, with guys like Josh Kelly. That's the guys that he wins games with. The defense, don't forget this defense that we were all talking about in the offseason. They are hurt. Jackson, out for most of the season. J.C. Jackson, who came over from New England, who everyone said was going to lift this Chargers defense, he was hurt. Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, they've kind of been quiet this season. Derwin James, this is a Chargers team that hasn't been healthy all year. that hasn't made those big plays, those huge moments like, oh my God, this Chargers team can go all the way. Now, early on in this season, I predicted a Bills-Chargers AFC championship. That wasn't looking so good coming into the season. That wasn't looking good halfway through the season. But that is still possible. I believe in this Chargers team. They have won 4 of their last 5. This Chargers team is hot. But so is this Jaguars team. They started 4-8 and have won their last 5. They have won twice against the Titans, won last week to knock them out of the playoffs and put the Jaguars in for the AFC South title. They have had a 17-point comeback win against the Cowboys, who everyone was crowning because everyone loves to crown the Cowboys. This Jaguar team is special. Led by Coach Doug Peterson. He's been here before. He's been the underdog before. He's won with a backup quarterback before. And he brought a championship to a city that has loved their team, where you could say more than any team in the league, and that Philadelphia Eagles fan base. Now he's looking to do it in Jacksonville. He took off a year. He came back. And Doug Peterson looks to go on another run. But the Chargers are coming to town. And the Jaguars, a home team, the 4 seed, are underdogs at home. The Chargers, the 5 seed, coming in to Jacksonville, are the favorites. And I could see why. Now, Herbert has thrown for 200 yards in 8 straight games, including 3 games with over 300. He has 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in his last 2 games. Trevor Lawrence has struggled. The receivers have struggled. The Jaguars haven't had a boom guy all year. They've been highly inconsistent. There's not been a player on that team that has been consistent throughout the year. Travis Etienne, we all thought was going to be that guy. They traded away James Robinson. They wanted that Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne connection, but he was hurt at the beginning of the year. Now, yes, when he's come in, he's been a good player, but he hasn't been that boom effect that we all thought he might be. I personally was a huge James Robinson fan. I didn't understand the trade, but that's just me. Travis Etienne, he has the connection with Lawrence. That's why they wanted him to stay. Zay Jones, who they brought in. Christian Kirk, who they paid a bag in the offseason. They've all had career numbers, but over the year, it hasn't been highly consistent where they have those 100-yard games. Those 80-yard and a touchdown games. Evan Ingram had those 2 huge games, but besides that, he's been quiet as well. Now, for the Chargers and these 2 teams, the most effective thing in this game is going to be the running backs. For the Chargers in this game, Austin Eckler needs to get the ball. He has 4 touchdowns in his last 3 games. He is your best player on the field aside from Justin Herbert. Yes, I said that. He is better than Keenan Allen, better than Mike Williams, better than Gerald Everett, better than those receivers and tight ends. You need to get him the ball. He can catch the ball. We've seen him get the receiving touchdowns. He can run the ball. We've seen him break out. Now, him running the ball hasn't been effective lately, but get him the ball in the pass game. For the Jaguars, your running back is also crucial. I just mentioned Travis Etienne. He has 100 yards in 2 of his last 4 games. And that is what you need from your running back. Your receivers aren't giving it to you, so look for it through the running back. Chargers defensive line and the Jaguars defensive line match those 2 running backs. That is the key in this game. We could talk about the receivers and Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, all we want. But this game is going to be won in the trenches. Now, yes, we are going to see Justin Herbert make these phenomenal plays. We're going to see Trevor Lawrence throw the ball. But what I saw from that Jaguars defense last week, Josh Allen, amazing game. That was phenomenal. Causing the fumble, recovering the fumble on the other play for a touchdown. Josh Allen had a huge game, and that is what this Jaguars team need. If that defensive line, led by Josh Allen, can get to Justin Herbert, they're going to have a good day. But that's when Austin Eckler comes in. When you're in trouble, Justin Herbert can just dump it down to Eckler. He doesn't need to make that 70-yard pass to Mike Williams or Keenan Allen up the middle, down the sideline. He can dump it off to Austin Eckler and let Austin Eckler run for 70 yards and do the rest. Same thing on the other side. Travis Etienne is an elusive running back. But that Chargers defense, that front seven, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Sebastian Joseph Day, these are guys who are known names, and they're going to have to step up. Now for the receivers, you can't win a game solely with the run game. Your defense is going to help, but you're going to need to throw to the guy. You can't run the ball all game. You're going to need to make those throws. Now for the Chargers, Mike Williams, a crucial part of that team. He's been injured all season, up and down. He's dealing with back spasms that affected him last week. Keenan Allen, he has had 60 yards in every game since week 13. That is 6 straight. But he can't solely be the one guy. Mike Williams is going to need to produce. And if he can't, Josh Palmer is going to be the guy. It's next man up. For the Jaguars, their offense, like I said, has not been consistent. You need to come together as a group collectively. Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram. They paid all of you this offseason. Come in, help Trevor Lawrence, get the ball down the field, and score. This game, I don't think is going to be as high scoring. I see this game being a defensive game if the Chargers and Jaguars can step up defensively. But I think that the game is going to get up there and score. I don't see it getting the highlights that we want, the touchdown here, touchdown there, those kinds of games like the Bills and Chiefs. But I see it being consistent throughout, like a touchdown. All right, the defense makes a stop. Field goal, defense makes a stop. Touchdown, field goal, defensive stop. I think it's going to be a back and forth game all game long. And I think that in this game, there's going to be one play at the end of the game. Don't know by what team, but there's going to be a play on offense where there's a throw that puts that team in sole possession to kick a game-winning field goal. Now, when I say that, that does favor the Chargers, but with the Jaguars defense, I wouldn't be surprised if they make a stop. Now, this game, I feel like, is going to come down to the wire. Don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think this game comes down to the last possession on a 2-minute drive where they need to get down and get a field goal, get a touchdown. And I think that's how this game goes. Let me know your prediction for this game. As I said, I will be revealing mine on Friday. But enough of that. Let's get into our next game. Our Sunday slate, where we kick off with another divisional game between the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. Bills Mafia, Dolphins fans, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Now, for the Dolphins, I know this is not how you saw your season going. I know you did not expect Skylar Thompson to be playing in the playoffs for you, but here it is. And for the Bills, this is for DeMar. Josh Allen and this Buffalo Bills team is emotional. They have every right to win this game. They have every right to go to the Super Bowl. The emotions are high with DeMar. Prayers up for DeMar. He is coming back to Buffalo. And that is why the Bills are electric right now. We saw them start with an opening touchdown on a kickoff for DeMar. DeMar sent off the alarms in the ICU on the first play of the game. This is for DeMar if you're a Bills fan. Bills Mafia, this is what we've been fighting for all year. DeMar Hamlin fighting for his life and you fighting for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. It all starts this week in Buffalo. And for the Dolphins, you're coming in here being one of the biggest underdogs of the week. Tua Tagovailoa, he hasn't been cleared. Skylar Thompson's going to be coming into this game. And for the Dolphins, your whole life being a Dolphin fan, your whole season relies on one man going into Buffalo and upsetting the Bills. And that entire man, this entire season, comes into the hands of one man, one quarterback. Not your starter, not your backup, but your third string, a rookie in Skylar Thompson. The Dolphins are counting on Thompson. The Bills counting on Josh Allen and that team. Who will come out victorious? Round 3. 1-1. They are tied. The Bills won 29-21 all the way back in week 3. And the Bills beat the Dolphins 32-29 in week 15. These two games, Tua was the quarterback. That's not the case come this Sunday. 1 p.m. Eastern, this Sunday. Skylar Thompson will lead this injured Miami Dolphins team into Buffalo to face the Josh Allen-led Bills. Emotional, electrifying. Doing this all for Damar Hamlin, who just fought, battled for his life, and came out on top. Prayers up for Damar going back to Buffalo. That is huge. He was just transported from Cincinnati to Buffalo in a hospital in Buffalo, but he is back home, and that's what matters. Now in this game, the Miami Dolphins are extremely scary. Raheem Mostert, injured, broken hand. Tyreek Hill came out of last week's game, injured. Jalen Waddle came up injured late in that game. And Tua Tagovailoa, a quarterback who has not had, not one, not two, but 3 concussions in a season. Not what you want to see if you are a fan, a player, or a human in general. You don't want to see a man get 3 concussions in a season. Luke Kuechly retired at the age of 29 after getting 3 concussions in a season. Tua Tagovailoa, it's scary to see what he went through all season long. Now, yes, it's very hard to say that was scary when we just saw Damar fight for his life, but seeing a guy have 3 concussions in a year, take repeated blows to his head, not what you want to see. This is not the matchup we wanted to see. When I pictured Dolphins-Bills matchup in the playoffs, I pictured Tua and that high-flying, speedy offense of the Dolphins facing off against Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and those Buffalo Bills. That is not what we're getting. We're getting a Dolphins team who has lost 5 of their last 6. A Dolphins team that started off hot, went on consistent streaks of winning 5 games, losing 5 games, winning 5 games, and now ending the season losing 5 of 6. A offense that has not been able to get going with the injuries that they have had. With Skylar Thompson leading that team. This is not a team that we thought we would get in this situation, but here we are. They are going against a Buffalo team who's won 7 straight games. And in this game, it's going to come down to that Miami Dolphins defense. And I say this because Miami's offense might not be able to put up the numbers they would if they had to. They're definitely not going to be able to put up those numbers. This Bills defense is highly underrated. Jordan Poyer leading that defense at that safety position. Tre'Davious White is back. Ed Oliver on the defense. Greg Rousseau. On and on we can name these players on this Bills team. They are an all-star team. But this Miami Dolphins offense, they're not healthy. They are not at 100%. Even if Tua doesn't play, which he'd probably not, and they get everyone back, Jalen Waddle's not at 100%. Tyreek Hill's not at 100%. This offense is injury-riddled, and they're bruised and battered up. The Bills' defense is elite. What more can we say? This game is won with the Miami Dolphins defense and the Buffalo Bills offense. Josh Allen is a top 3 quarterback in the league. That Dolphins defense has been shaky, but they just allowed 6 points to the Jets. Now, I know Joe Flacco played. I get it. But this Dolphins team, when they're constantly on the field and the Dolphins offense isn't getting points on the board, they're going to get tired as the game goes on. And when you have a Bills offense that can get down the field in 3-4 plays, big explosive plays, it's going to be difficult. Stephon Diggs and Xavier Howard, I'm interested in watching that matchup. I'd love to see if Howard travels with Diggs or if he stays on one side. But even then, you got to deal with Gabe Davis. You got to deal with Dawson Knox. You got to deal with Josh Allen running the ball. He runs like nobody cares. He runs like he doesn't care what happens to his body. Jordan Poyer said on the Pat McAfee show a couple of weeks ago that every time Josh Allen runs, they just wait for him to get up and then they can clap. They wait for him to get up after a run, after he takes a hit. But they said they don't try to change him. Poyer said that they don't try to change him because that's who he is and he's not going to change. That Bills team, I love what they have going. I love the culture. What they have going on with what happened on Monday against the Bengals with DeMar, it's insane to see how they rallied and played in less than a week. But that Bills offense is just electrifying to watch. And this game is going to be won on that side of the ball. If the Dolphins defense can control Allen's mobility, if that defense can shut down the passing game with Stephon Diggs, and then you have to hold that offense and then make Josh Allen force the run game with Singletary, the run game with Cook, or have to get the ball to Knox or Gabe Davis, that game shifts just a little bit. So for the Dolphins, your main goal, shut down Josh Allen's run and shut down Stephon Diggs. If you could do that, you have a chance. For the Bills, just do what you've been doing. Same thing as I said with the Niners. There's no reason for you to change anything. Your special teams had 2 touchdowns last week. Phenomenal. Your offense was going up and down the field like you had a practice squad going against you. The Bills team needs to continue doing what they've been doing. The Dolphins need to step up immensely on defense. But I'm looking forward to this game because we've seen this Dolphins team hang in there with the Bills. And we've seen this Bills team struggle against the Dolphins. So in a divisional battle, round 3, come Sunday at 1 p.m., I will be glued to my TV watching the Dolphins and the Bills. Let me know who you got in the comments. Next up, the New York Giants taking on the Minnesota Vikings for the second time this season. At 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the New York Giants head to Minnesota to take on the NFC North champion Minnesota Vikings. New York, you've been here before. You've been here twice. You won the Super Bowl both times with Eli Manning. 10-6, 9-7, and you ran the table. Now you are 9-7-1. Will you be able to get it done? You're going into Minnesota, facing a Minnesota team that's high-flying with Justin Jefferson, who everyone thinks is the best receiver in the league, who is grittying on every team he goes against. And you are the underdog, the 6th seed in the NFC, the 3rd seed in the NFC East, and you snuck your way into those playoffs. You earned your spot in this playoffs. Brian Daboll in his first year is turning the Giants into a winning team again. But Minnesota, you are the 3 seed. You dethroned the Green Bay Packers in the NFC North, and you feel like this is your year. Justin Jefferson is playing at an elite level. Kirk Cousins is getting the job done. But come this Sunday, prime time playoffs. Prime time Kirk will hit the field in Minnesota, and he will be throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson. He will be handing the ball to Dalvin Cook. And you, if you are the Vikings, cannot let this New York Giants team, you cannot let this 6th seed Giant team led by Daniel Jones at quarterback come into your house and take over your stadium and win. If you're Minnesota, you need to win this game. You need to stay alive. And you need to await your next opponent. But the New York Giants are coming. Saquon Barkley is coming. And you best believe that they are going to shut down Justin Jefferson as best as they can. You best believe that Saquon Barkley is going to come in and get the ball 20 times. And you need to stop him. Because if you don't, Saquon is going to run all over that team. That Giants defense is going to shut you down and you are going to get eliminated. And New York, no one believed you could make it. No one thought you'd be in this situation. But here you are. Led by a head coach in Brian Daboll who turned around the Bills and Josh Allen, and now he's looking to turn around you guys and Daniel Jones. What do you have to say for yourself? Can you pull off this upset, go into Minnesota and knock them out at their own stadium? Who you got? Let me know. Does this look familiar to you? Giants, Vikings? We just saw it a few weeks ago. Week 16, the New York Giants played the Minnesota Vikings, and the Minnesota Vikings won on a 61-yard field goal. Now that's the thing with Minnesota. If a team goes up against them and stays up against them, it is very hard for them to come back. But if you're going to keep the game close with Minnesota, you best believe they're going to beat you. Minnesota is good at winning close games. They have won 3 of their last 4, 5 of their last 7. And they're looking to stay hot with this offense. Don't forget, Giants fans, I said you're going to try to shut down Justin Jefferson. But you couldn't do that in Week 16. He had 12 catches for 133 yards and a touchdown. You can't have that again. There's no way you win the game if Justin Jefferson has those numbers again. But the Giants, you have lost 2 of your last 3. You have lost 3 of your last 5. You are slowing down at the worst possible time, and the Vikings are heating up at the best possible time. These are 2 teams going in different directions. The Giants going down, the Vikings going up. The Giants kept it close last week against the Eagles. But if you do that against the Vikings, you're not going to win, just like you didn't win last week. Kirk Cousins, 5 straight games with 200-plus yards. He has 11 touchdowns in those 5-game span. Kirk Cousins is hot. But we all know primetime Kirk and how he folds under pressure. And if you're the Giants, you're going to blitz Kirk Cousins like you've never blitzed anyone before this season. You're going to blitz Kirk Cousins. You're going to get the pressure on Kirk Cousins. And you're going to hope Kirk Cousins shows up in primetime like he always has. Saquon Barkley, 3 straight games, 50 yards. 2 touchdowns in those 3 games. That is your sole possession. That is your sole point in this game. In order to win this game, you're going to give the ball to Barkley. You're going to give the ball to Barkley. And after that, you're going to give the ball to Barkley. And when you're done giving the ball to Barkley, you're going to give Barkley the ball again. And again and again and again. You're going to hand off the ball to Barkley. You're going to throw to Barkley as a screen. You're going to throw to Barkley underneath. You're going to get the ball to Barkley as much as you can in this game. Because if they shut down Saquon Barkley, they shut down your team. Daniel Jones isn't going to go out there and light the Vikings up throwing to Darius Slayton. He's not going to go up there and light up the field. Your offense runs through Barkley. And Daniel Jones isn't going to go up there and throw the ball to Richie James. Throw the ball to Slayton. Throw the ball to Hodgins. That's not how you're winning this game. Because if they shut down Barkley, you have no chance of winning this game. You are the 6th seed. You are the underdog. You are going into Minnesota. Now as to the Vikings. As I just mentioned, if you want to win this game, you shut down Saquon Barkley. If Saquon Barkley gets going and he gets down the field, he has 100 yards, he has a touchdown, well, then you need to get Justin Jefferson the ball. The Giants' offense is struggling at receiver. As I said, they've lost 2 of their last 3 games. This is a team that runs through their running back. Stop Saquon Barkley and you stop the Giants. For the Vikings to win this game, they need to get the ball to Justin Jefferson like they did in their past game. We saw what happened last time they played the Giants. Justin Jefferson had 12 catches for 133 yards and a touchdown. That was, 3 weeks ago now? So Minnesota, I'm not saying Justin Jefferson needs 133 yards, but it would sure help if he has it. Now, don't forget about Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen had a touchdown last week, but he has been quiet all season long. And I love Adam Thielen. And he's quietly been part of the offense. Now, they got a new tight end in T.J. Hawkinson. KJ Osborne lit up the field last week. Don't know where that came from. But if the Minnesota Vikings can throw the ball on this New York Giants defense, which I think they will be able to, it's going to help them win this game. The Vikings need to A, shut down Barkley, and B, throw the ball like they did in Week 16. But be careful, because that Giants defense is pretty damn good. Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, that team and that front 7 is pretty dang good. That front 7 gave trouble to the Eagles last week. That defense kind of shut down the Eagles' offense. And the offense with Davis Webb put up numbers on the Eagles. A game that I thought was going to be a blowout turned out to be a 1-possession game. So Minnesota, be careful, because I know you guys like to win close games. But if you keep this game really close with the Giants, I don't know if you win like you did in Week 16. You got lucky. You snuck by the Giants in a game you should have lost. And for the Giants, as I said, get your front seven going. Blitz, like I said. Because if you can blitz and force Kirk Cousins to be pressured, he's going to make mistakes. He's going to cause turnovers. And this game is going to be won by turnovers. I think whoever has the turnover differential in this game wins this game. Let me know who you got in the comments. As I said, my predictions will come out on Friday. But this game, I'm going to be going back and forth on this game all week long. This is the one game where I'm not so sure and I'm not so confident in my picks like I am with the other teams. I know it's early in the week, but I'm confident in mostly every game except for this Giant game. But this is going to be the closest game all week long. Now next we have another division game. This seems to be a thread. The Ravens and the Bengals. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, because it is. They just played last week. The Bengals steamrolled over the Ravens. Wow. It was crazy. Well, 27-26. Not a great showing, but the Bengals got it done when they needed to. And in this game, it's going to be a tough one if the Ravens don't have Lamar out there. But don't take the Ravens for granted because they're going to be mad after last week. Who Dey Nation, Raven Flock, battle number 3. Do you want to go to the next round? Of course you do. But can you? Against your division opponent. The Bengals just beat the Ravens down last week. Joe Mixon celebrated with a coin flip. They were so electric last week that I don't know if the Ravens even have a chance this week. But not so fast because that Ravens team, they're going to come into this game with emotion. They're going to come into this game pissed off after last week, after Joe Mixon's flipping a coin to mock them in the end zone. This Ravens team, don't doubt them. Now, Lamar Jackson might not be able to play. Tyler Huntley might not be out there. But Anthony Brown and that Ravens team might be an underdog, but they are going to come into this game and give the Bengals all they got. And if you're the Bengals, this is an easy game. We're going against not Lamar, not Tyler Huntley, but Anthony Brown, who we just played, who we just beat. This game's easy. Wrap it up. We're going to the divisional round. Let's go Cincinnati. Let's go Baltimore. Give us a fight. A divisional battle like we love to see. We want to see this divisional game. We want to see the Bengals. We want to see the Ravens. And that is what we're going to get. The Bengals and Jamar Chase grittying, Joe Mixon flipping a coin, the Ravens coming in high on emotions, high with anger, fuming after last week, and this game's going to get gritty. This game's going to get grindy, and this game is going to be won not in a blowout fashion. This game might be close, or we might be seeing Bengals by 20. I don't know. Let's go. Now let me correct myself. Last week the Bengals won 27-16. I said 27-26, so let me just correct myself with that. Now that was last week, where the Bengals faced Anthony Brown. The last time Lamar played the Bengals, the Ravens won 19-17. Now, Lamar's probably not going to play in this game. Now, he has been out with a knee injury. He hasn't even practiced since the injury. Now, there are rumors that Lamar is not playing and has not been playing because of contract talks. Maybe he doesn't want to play because, well, if you're not going to pay me, why should I put my body on the line for a team that's not going to pay me and doesn't want me? Whether that's true or not, I don't know. There are also reports that, you could see Lamar limping. You could see Lamar's not walking right. He's not feeling right. Who knows what to believe? Everything's going to be out in the media. We're going to get all of the talks as we can, especially with the season on the line. Now, Joe Burrow has had 200 yards in every game except week 2 against the Cowboys. It's pretty good if I say so. 16 out of 17 games, 200 yards at least. For the quarterback of the Ravens, it's a mystery. We're going to see Tyler Huntley? Maybe. Are we going to see Anthony Brown again? Maybe. Does Lamar miraculously play? Maybe. I think that's going to be the deciding factor in this game. I think if we see Lamar, this game might be a little interesting. I think if we see Tyler Huntley, this game might be a little interesting. But if we see Anthony Brown again, I don't see a way the Ravens win this game. J.K. Dobbins has had 50 yards in 4 straight games, but he didn't play last week. That's an issue. The Ravens are going to need to get the ball going in this game if they want to win. Especially if you have Anthony Brown out there, you want him throwing the ball all day? No, you don't. We saw what happened last week, and you do not want a repeat of that. You want to hand the ball to J.K. Dobbins. You want to hand the ball to Kenyon Drake. You want to hand the ball to Gus Edwards. Just hand the ball off. Now, if you have Tyler Huntley in there, you got a little more leeway. Let's give the ball to Mark Andrews. Let's pass the ball around. Demarcus Robinson, he's come out of nowhere. It's good for the Ravens. But you got to get the ball to 2 guys in this game if you're the Ravens and you want to win. No matter what quarterback's out there. You got to get the ball to Mark Andrews, your tight end, because you know the Bengals are going to double him. They're just going to have to. And you want to get the ball to your running back. Whether it's J.K. Dobbins, whether it's Kenyon Drake, whether it's Gus Edwards, get the ball going. If you could establish the run early and have them load the box and then you're able to pass, that could be what works for the Ravens in this game. Now as for the Bengals. Do what exactly you did last week. Do the same thing. Because it worked. Play the defense you played last week. Now, if they change their quarterback, you might have to game plan a little bit differently. We all know how that goes. But on offense, keep giving the ball to Joe Mixon because he's playing well. Keep throwing the ball to Jamar Chase. Obviously, Joe Burrow loves Jamar Chase because Chase has 7+ receptions in his last 8 games. 7+ receptions. Joe Burrow loves Jamar Chase. He loved him at LSU. He loves him in Cincinnati. You know Chase is going to get the ball. T. Higgins has 2 games where he has 1 catch. Back-to-back games, 1 catch. That's tough to watch. Now, we know T. Higgins was probably emotional after Monday night. Of course, him being involved in the hit on Damar Hamlin, but you got to get T. Higgins the ball because the Ravens are going to have to cover Jamar Chase as best as they can. And if they take him out of the game, even just a little bit, you still got Tyler Boyd. You still got Hayden Hurst. You still got T. Higgins. Get the ball to your playmakers. This game is going to be decided by the defense. Now, I said the quarterback, but is there really a huge difference? I don't know, maybe. I think the Ravens have a slightly better chance with Tyler Huntley, especially him throwing the ball. But if you're the Bengals, you got to stop the Ravens' run game and give the ball to your playmakers. If you're the Ravens, try your best to eliminate Jamar Chase and work from there. But I'm looking forward to this game. The quarterback might change my feelings a little bit, but Sunday night, prime time, they put you in that window for a reason. The NFL knows what they are doing. They wouldn't put this game there unless they thought it was going to be a well-fought game. So I'm intrigued to see what happens in this Raven-Bengal game. Battle number 3 on the year. Who you got? Let me know in the comments. And our final game of WildCard weekend. The Dallas Cowboys traveling to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the 2nd time this season. Will we see history come Monday night? Tom Brady undefeated against the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys choke in every playoffs. Previous years, we saw Dak slide, can't get the playoff. Countless times we see this Dallas team make the playoffs. We see them hyped up all year. Cowboy fans, we them boys. We going to the Super Bowl. This is our year. And then they choke in the playoffs and they fail. Year in and year out, the Cowboys are the same. They should be known as the same old Cowboys. Tom Brady goes into your house week 1. The defense keeps you to 3 points and they win 19-3. Tom Brady undefeated against this Cowboys team, a Cowboys team that chokes every year in the playoffs. Tom Brady should go into this game. This is easy peasy for the Bucs. Game over, Cowboys lose. But not so fast. The Cowboys have to travel to Tampa Bay. Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard and that Cowboys offense is going into Tampa trying to rewrite history, trying to hand Tom Brady his first loss against them, trying to show all the fans that this might be their year. But Tom Brady, in what will be probably his last year, after going through a divorce, after facing everything he's faced this season, does Tom Brady have one more game in him? One more game to shut out the Cowboys, to end the Cowboys season, and to stay undefeated against the Cowboys in what could be his last year? Will Tom Brady at home in front of the Bucs fans in Tampa Bay beat the Dallas Cowboys, or will he let Dak Prescott and those Cowboys come into Tampa, into his home, and knock him out of the playoffs? Will Tom Brady let it happen? Will Micah Parsons run all over him? Will Micah Parsons get to him? Or will Tom Brady put the Cowboys down yet again? And will he eliminate the Cowboys come this Monday night? The Cowboys look to win a playoff game for the first time in years. They look to dethrone Tom Brady in what everyone says is the GOAT of all time, the greatest of all time. Can the Cowboys beat the greatest of all time? Or can Tom Brady eliminate the Cowboys in what can only be a Cowboys playoff game like none other? A Cowboys old-fashioned playoff game where they lose and they choke. Will we get the same old Cowboys? Or will we get a new Cowboys team who actually thinks that this could be their year? Which Cowboys team shows up this Monday night in Tampa? Woo! The Dallas Cowboys. Man. I've watched this team fail every year, and I gotta say it's been kind of fun to watch. I gotta say it's been fun to watch the Cowboys fail every year. Yeah, their fan base, just every year, same thing. We done boys, this is our year, they play good, they make the playoffs, and then they choke. That's the cycle of the Cowboys. Every year it's the same thing, and every year it ends the same. This year, they are 6-2 in their last 8 games. But in their last 4, 2-2. They're on a downhill spiral, coming off of a 20-point loss to the Washington Commanders. Yes, I said a 20-point loss to the Washington Commanders. A Sam Howell-led Commanders team. A rookie beat that Dallas Cowboys team last week by 20. Not the Cowboys backups, the starting Cowboys team. The Bucs are 4-4 in their last 8, 2-2 in their last 4. Both these teams are coming off of 2-2 games. The Bucs coming off a loss to the Falcons, a meaningless game where they pulled Tom Brady. Cowboys coming off a 20-point loss. Which team shows up? This game comes down to the defense. Tom Brady and that Tampa offense hasn't been good this season. This is a Bucs team that is under 500. That if the playoffs were decided by the best 7 teams, they wouldn't have made it. They're only in the playoffs because they beat the Panthers 2 weeks ago, or the Panthers would be in the playoffs winning the NFC South. But they squeaked by the Panthers getting in the playoffs. This is a Bucs team that just squeaked in the playoffs because they're in a division with the injured Saints, the choking Falcons, and the Panthers, who have traded everyone and want to rebuild after firing their coach. This Bucs team is led by Tom Brady, who hasn't had a good season at all. In fact, Tom Brady has played terribly this season. Blame it on outside distractions, blame it on his divorce, blame it on anything you want. But in the end, you Tom Brady apologists cannot say anything this season because he has played terribly. As for the Cowboys, all you Cowboys fans, you could be mad all you want on how every year you get laughed at. But in the end, you cannot deny the facts. And the facts are that every year in and year out, you guys find a way to choke. You guys find a way to let down your fan base, a fan base that crowns you every year at the beginning of the year. Dak Prescott, 250 yards in 4 of his last 5 games. He is playing at a good level. Zeke is averaging a touchdown since week 6. And he is a guy that you wanted benched for Tony Pollard. Me personally, I like Tony Pollard better. I think Tony Pollard brings more juice to that team. You have a CeeDee Lamb type receiver who has 3 touchdowns in his last 3 games, 100 yards in 3 of his last 4 games. This is a Cowboys offense that, if you look on paper, should beat this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team by 20. There is no way this Cowboys team doesn't go into Tampa with the offense that they have, with the way Tom Brady's been playing, and he doesn't beat the Buccaneers. But this is Tom Brady in the playoffs. This isn't regular season Tom Brady. We've seen this story all before. Tom Brady gets into the playoffs and you don't want to see him. The Cowboys don't want to see Brady. As much as they fans might want Tom Brady, you don't want to see playoff Tom Brady. If this is the regular season, well, you still don't want to see him because he always beats you. This is a Cowboys team that has never beaten Tom Brady. This is Tom Brady who's beaten the Cowboys last year. He beat them this year, both in week 1. One time in Dallas and one time at home in Tampa. And now this Cowboys team who plays in an indoor stadium has to come to Tampa. Not a big difference because weather in Tampa is great. But the Bucs have been struggling all year. This is a Bucs team that's been pretty bad. The Bucs need to win this game on the defensive side of the ball. If this Bucs defense can go in there, shut down the run, whether it be Pollard or Zeke, force Dak Prescott to throw the ball. That's what you need to do if you're the Bucs. Because if you look at it, Dak Prescott has the yards, but he also has the turnovers. Dak Prescott had multiple turnovers last week in Washington. One including a pick 6 to Kendall Fuller. Not what you want to see. But the Cowboys have seen this all year with Dak Prescott. In fact, Dak Prescott has been turning the ball over all year. Dak Prescott needs to be better with the football. If the Cowboys want to win, you can't turn the ball over in this game. Because if you're sitting here, and let's say it's the first quarter, and you get the ball, you're up 3, the possession's going your way, you just force the Bucs to punt the ball, you're up 3, you got the ball, you're driving down the field, and then Dak Prescott throws an interception. Well, now Tom Brady gets the ball down 3, and he's going down the field, and he's going to score and take the lead. That's how the momentum can shift in this game. So in this game, if you're the Bucs, force turnovers, change the momentum, get the ball in Brady's hands, let Brady do what Brady does. If you're the Cowboys, well, let's not turn the ball over. You need to keep the ball, you need to protect the ball, and you don't need to give Tom Brady any extra possessions. When you have the ball, get some points on the board. And then on defense, force Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not going to run. Tom Brady's not going to mobile his way out. He's not going to run for a first down. Get pressure. You got Micah Parsons, who every Cowboy fan is praising the Lord. Thank you, Micah Parsons. Well, Micah Parsons, now is your time to shine. Show up in this game, sack Tom Brady, pressure Tom Brady. DeMarcus Lawrence, get pressure on Tom Brady as well. The Cowboys are not winning this game if they do not pressure Tom Brady. If Tom Brady sits back in that pocket and throws the ball, he's going to find an open man because he always does. Tom Brady's going to find Mike Evans. He's going to find Chris Godwin. He's going to find Kate Otten. He's going to find anyone on that offense. Leonard Fournette's going to run the ball. Rashad White's going to run the ball. He's going to find anyone. Cowboys, get pressure on Tom Brady. Let Tom Brady struggle in the pocket. Let Tom Brady have to throw the ball out quick. Because that way, your offense can get to work. Your defense can shut down Tom Brady. Your offense can get the ball back. The more times your offense has the ball, the better chance you have of winning this game. Same thing goes for the Bucs. If you can put pressure on Dak, if you can cause those turnovers that Dak loves to give up as of late, then it is your turn and your chance to give Tom Brady the ball. And I see this game going one of two ways. I either see the Bucs being up and the Cowboys going down the field and having a chance at the win and maybe causing a turnover. Or I see the Cowboys going down the field late in the game and taking the lead and giving Tom Brady just a little too much time. Because we know that if you give Tom Brady a minute, even I'd say a minute. I say if you go down the field and you give Tom Brady 30 seconds or less, he's not going to win. But I see in this game one of two ways. Either the Cowboys blow out the Bucs and Dak Prescott doesn't turn the ball over. He's perfect. Zeke and Pollard are running all over the place. The Bucs just can't find the ground. That's one. Or two, Cowboys go up late, give Brady the ball back with a minute left, and Tom Brady goes down the field and wins this game. Those are the two ways I see this game going. I don't see this game being close and the Cowboys winning. I see it being a way of a Cowboys blowout win or a Tom Brady comeback win in Tampa. That is how I see this game going. But like I said, all my predictions will be out Friday. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, comment. I would appreciate you commenting your picks. My picks will be out Friday. The link to my Instagram with all my new designs, the link to my TikTok with all the short clips, those will be in the description, so go check out those. But once again, I will see you guys next time.